Welcome back. And so I said we're going to be talking about the place of secular artists.
Okay.
Let me say it like that in faith-based films. Okay. So I know that a lot of Christians frown at it, and one of the things I realized, correct me if I'm wrong, is that I think even faith-based filmmakers are afraid. They are scared. They are scared that when these secular artists come in, they are going to take their jobs, supposedly. They are going to take what they stand for. And believe you or not, in the faith-based industry, it's difficult to get an actor to be on your film because they will consider a lot of things. Are you going to get them in trouble from this? Yes. Are you going to get them in trouble from the supposed people who have been using them and they are known? Yeah. So they want to weigh their options. Like if I come and act for you, and then if I come and act for you, and then this person hears that I acted in your film, they're not going to use me again. Emotion.
That's why I said born again. But born again, not born again. Born again means into our own denomination.
So now, what do you think about now? I mean, if I want to use, for instance, Richard Bufedamijo today, there are standards.
Yeah.
As long as his welfare is treated well, you pay the fees that you're supposed to pay. And your story is looking good, it's going to come and act for you.
Yeah.
Not because you are the blockbuster director, Funke Akindele, that made 1 billion, but because he believes in your project and it's coming up for you. Yeah. So what do you feel about that? When we're not talking about, using secular artists in faith-based film, what are your opinions?
All right. Something I said when we started, and I'm actually going to put this on that as well. I said, learn the craft. Then don't lose your individuality. Do it the way you want to do it, but learn the craft first. So I'm not of the opinion that people should be forced or compelled to use secular actors. But I would say you can't make a film and just use your church people or your ministry members, so to say, and expect to have the kind of impact that a good film should have. So I would say that every film needs professional actors. Every film. So your professional actors can be
professional actors, not secular actors.
Yeah. So professional actors.
That means we should stop seeing secular actors as secular actors, like they are doing a bad thing.
No, secular is not secular. The word secular is not even a bad thing. The word secular is not a bad thing. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a secular filmmaker. Why? I make film for public consumption. I work in the secular space. So it's not even a bad word. It's not even an ungodly word, so to say. So, but I understand where you're coming from, sir. So, people religiously have an issue. They have an issue with known faces from Nollywood, and I think that's like the problem. And I already mentioned something the other time about looking at Nollywood as a space for demons. I know actors who are believers, and trust me, I don't mean people who only write Christianity when they have to fill forms. I know actors who are believers. I know folks in the Christian drama circle, and I know folks in Nollywood. I know actors in Nollywood who are more committed to the Lord,
and solid
than some of these folks. I've been with a so-called Christian drama who, we were in a situation together, and there was really no need for an outburst. But then, we was all over the place. So I was shocked. I just looked at it and said, "Hey, so this person has this kind of thing too." So, but I know guys in Nollywood. I worked with an actor that, for 2 days it was just raining, and he sat down. Every time I come, say, "Sorry, sir. I understand. It's not you. You sat down." So there are a lot of Christians in that space. So if you are making a film and you need actors, just check out for your values. Just look out for your values. Even those who are not making Christian films, watch the actors some directors work with. I can give you a pattern. There are directors now who tell you, no matter how talented an actor is, any actor that nags, I don't work. That's a value. That's something. Okay, for instance, I have a theory with working with the DP. I don't believe in Agbao DP kind of. I believe in the DP that listens to me. That's it. So I always tell my guys, I can work with any DP. You're good. You're good means that you can do.
At least you understand.
You understand the work. So I can work with any DP that listens. Because the things that I want to do with my shots, they are in my own head. So I'm not leaving you to run the show. I'm only leaving you to help me, to help me interpret the pictures. Yes. That's basically your work. The pictures that I have in my head, the emotions that I want to grind, that's basically, so that's value. So I'm putting that into deciding who works for me. So if you're making a Christian film, for instance, if I'm making a Christian film, for instance, that I want to put in the public space, what are we even saying? Did Christians not watch God Calling? God Calling was made by B.B. Sasore. B.B. Sasore, so sorry, I don't know that much about it. B.B. Sasore didn't set out to make a Christian film like that. Oh, I just want to bless the name of the Lord. There was something he said a long time ago, and that's me who is an agnostic, so to say. He said, the Christian content. He said there's a lot to milk there, and people are not really going that direction. So I would use that as an answer to the B.B. Sasore thing. I'm not in his mind, but from the few things that I've been able to gather, he tried it with Banana Island Ghost. It had a bit of God talking to a character, so I knew what's this Christian feel in this thing, and then God Calling. I know Christian drama people who went to the cinema to see God Calling, and they wrote reviews, good reviews
about it.
If it's good for your consumption, why is it bad for you to make? Are we not deceiving ourselves? If it's good for your consumption, why is it bad for you to make? And now he made bread of life. So he sees it. So it's a market. Putting the right ingredient in place, everybody's chopping it.
Yes.
Now, bread of life, I've not seen the film because I usually don't like to see film when there's a lot of noise. So I like that the whole thing is over and then I'll just sit with it and then just watch.
Just enjoy.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of reviews, Christians. I've seen them, from the reviews. You love something so much and then you're still disappointed in it. Yeah. So it tells you that you like it. You would wish that he consulted you.
Yes.
On so maybe some beats.
Some things. Yeah.
So why didn't you make it?
I'm that kind of a person, man.
It's easier that way. Why didn't you make it? Why are you not the guy calling the shot for such a film? So why didn't you make it?
He's making faith-based content.
So now I'm not advocating that every one of us should start making films with, with Nollywood actors in our films. Like I said, do you, whatever works for you. But ensure that your motives are very, very genuine. And ensure that your motives is not, your motive is not clouded by a religious bias. Because sometimes people will say, hey, I'm doing this how the Lord is leading me. You've not even given the Lord room to lead you. So you don't even know, because you are not in a position to know how the Lord leads you. You're like a Peter, who all his life he had lived with Jews until Jesus got hold of him. And Jesus kept telling, this my gospel is to the whole world. He said, we hear you, sir. We hear you, sir. Until it was time to go outside of Israel. He said, go preach to Cornelius. Baba said, I never chop anything unclean before, in a trance. He was literally arguing with his maker on the people he can associate with. That's how closed our minds can be. So you don't overrate your mind to think that you are doing it this way is because you chose to. You didn't choose to. You were indoctrinated. You will need to unlearn first. Then we'll now keep all options on the table. You will now choose. You need to unlearn that thing first.
My head is full. Oh, this man is going to kill me.
So if you are now in a position to now choose to decide, like for instance, I really do not buy. Okay, I work in Nollywood, but I really do not buy using stars to make. If I'm going to make a faith-based film, I have a template. I want to work with a professional actor from Nollywood who does not have much, noise attached to his personality. I mean, not the guy that you're seeing on social media regularly doing all kinds of stuff, because it's going to affect the messaging. It's going to affect the messaging, not that God will not work. God is not man. It's going to affect the messaging because film is an emotional product. You're selling emotions. That's why people will not take Baba Suwe serious the day you make him a CEO. It's a simple thing.
Really.
So you say he's a CEO in this film. Why? Because this guy, they've, typecasting all his life. He's been a clown. So no matter how much I try to, make him fit into that role, there's already a problem with how he's been,
people are going to receive it.
How casting has worked for him in the past. So I believe in that theory. Some of the faith-based films that people did with Nollywood people, I believe it's one of the reasons why it failed, because you did not put a lot of, you're not deliberate. Let me cite an example. There's a film, one of my all-time best films, City of God. It's a Brazilian film. Now the director, when it's a story of a community, an underserved community. So he actually went there to train the kids there. They trained them in acting, and they were the major characters in the film. The film was so successful, it won an Oscar. So successful that 10 years after, there's a lot of documentary around the film. So the guys who were the main characters in this film were not even professional actors, so to say. But they trained them. And they were so useful to the story. One of the theories that I like ghetto films, and one of the theories that I have is, no matter how good you are as an actor, there's a level of freshness that I can't put in my ghetto film.
Of course, I mean, who are you deceiving?
So I have a film that I have a story idea that I'm working on. I'm also going to do the same thing. I just bring in few veterans, known faces. I want to use the boys with the scar. If you see what's his name is doing, Tunde Onosoya. Is it Onosoya or Nokoya? The chess in slum guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go on Twitter, go and see the kids. Look at some of those kids with scar. Look at their lips. These are things that our caricature makeup cannot do. So I want to go into a community. If I'm going to make a film where I really want you to see how terrible things are with kids from this place, I want to go there and pick them up. I told a friend of mine, I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make all their parents sign. So the day we want to film, I'll say, don't dress them specially. Let them come the way I've always did. The day we came for Reki, the way I saw them, let them come like that. Why? Because there is something I want to capture. So it's called. So the reason why I would not use certain actors is not because it is ungodly. It's because there's something I want to sell. There's something I want to sell. So people who have problems with using, Nollywood actors, they need to redefine their problems. You can say, as a filmmaker, I'm not going to use. Yeah, it's a choice. Yeah. But to say it is ungodly to do so, that's where the problem is.
To judge someone.
And the hypocrisy is in the fact that you have enjoyed Christian films made with these people. You've enjoyed it like bread of life. I see a lot of people came online and say, a very good film, this, but Christians don't do this before marriage. I've not seen the film. And then some other people came to defend whoever made it, that he didn't tell you that he made a Christian film. Apparently,
he went on social media and said it wasn't a faith-based film.
That's it.
But it was based on faith content.
Because it's a market. It's a market. It's a market that the people who own it are doing smesme around it.
Yeah. And because people want it, they don't care where it's coming from.
It's a market.
As it comes.
I saw Axel Ridge. I knew who made it.
Yeah.
I cried. It did not spoil the emotion for me. Why? Because waiting in one accomplish, input all the ingredients there.
Yes.
So there is a way to achieve what you want to achieve. But our people need to learn. Casting in Christian drama. People really need to, let go of their bias first. To now be in a position to choose if they want to use this actor or not. Okay. But where a lot of people are presently, they are judging wrongly because there are a lot of believers in that space. I worked with a girl. I don't know if I should mention her name. So every time she's not filming, once she's on a break, you see her go somewhere to pray in tongues. She'll pray in tongues.
Amazing.
So I said, once I said, it's the first lady to go pray. I said, she's just there. I don't know what she's doing. So a man saw what she's doing. She's praying. I will connect. So every time I see, so there are a lot of people like that. I remember one time like that, we were so tired. You know, even me, we be pastor for a church. I was so tired that I could not do anything spiritual. I just wanted to go to my hotel room and sleep. I had about 3 or 4 crew members who were connected to, you know, programs in their church. One was literally praying in tongues out in the bus. She was seated beside me. And there's a way I always make them feel comfortable. Like, you can do this around me. I'm cool with this. You're not doing anything wrong. Keep on. We want more people like that. More people like that.
Just pick something from there. You can do it.
More people.
Say, no. Keep your Christianity to where you're going.
No, you can do it around me. You can. You can. So there are lots of Christians there. And you are even sinning against God if you demonize the whole industry.
Or you stop people from getting.
Buhari was president for 8 years. We're saying, let's pray for our president. He's a Muslim. We're praying for him. So a Christian that is, you know, supposedly in a space where he's misbehaving needs your prayer more than that guy that you are praying for. Why you are praying for that guy is because you know that you can make a decision that will
mess you up.
So this guy who
for instance, if he decides now that I must not hear any faith-based anything anywhere. So what happened? We can't do anything. Except some people will have to travel out and go and be doing their stuff somewhere.
So there are a lot of Christians there. A lot of Christians doing well.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you here, and then we'll come back. When we come back, we'll talk about the business of filmmaking.
All right. So
let's talk about things people don't know. They just think it's when you do these things, you put it on YouTube, and then you are waiting for a paycheck after you have whatever it is you have done. But there's a whole lot more, if you agree with me. So stay with us. We'll be back.